These are the highlights of India's smartest podcast, The Ranveer Show. Welcome to TRS Clips. Make sure you hit that bell icon and don't forget to subscribe. 2041, when the metaverse is established and our parents are on it and our grandkids are on it, what will daily life look like? So, according to you, from everything you've understood, from the moment you wake up in the morning at whatever, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., how will your day look like for an average person, an office goer?
Okay. So let me map my day today, right? So I generally wake up at 5:30. I've of late gotten into a good habit of exercising 6 to 7 with my trainer. From 7 to 9, I'm on my laptop working on my own. From 9:30, our meetings start till 7:30 in the evening, where I'm on my laptop, on my phone continuously. And then from 7:30 till I sleep around till 10:30, I'm with my family having dinner. So now if I see the amount of time I spend on devices, that's already close to 12 hours in a day, right? Why is it difficult for us to imagine that if I'm going to work and I'm just going to log into whatever device will be the device for me to log in into the metaverse, why wouldn't we be spending at least half our time there? I think it's very plausible, right? So like I wake up, of course, my physical body will still need to be there. In our lifetime, that is not going away, right? Maybe the crazy part of, like you said, consciousness being uploaded and us not even needing a physical body happens in 100 years time or whenever it does. But in our lifetime, the physical part is probably, in my opinion, going to be 8 to 10 hours. And everything else I do, work, transactions, commerce, some socializing aspect, some will be in real life, some will be digital, like it is already today. WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, it's already happening through a device, right? But suddenly, like you said, change is always scary for people. Suddenly, if you tell people, oh, metaverse is coming, people are like, oh my God. But this change, by the way, will be a lot smoother for the user than people think, right? Why? Because like I said, predominantly metaverse is going to come through your existing mobile devices or newer mobile devices. So your change will be, you have to remember mobile devices, like the App Store was 2008, right? It's 13 years ago, right? Right now, if I tell someone that we didn't have mobile device when I went to IIT, people will be like, what? How can you not have mobile, right? If I tell my parents that there was no Google search when they were doing their MBA, it's unimaginable, right? Like, how the hell did you even search for information at that time? So people adopt to changes very rapidly, right? And that is also more so the reason that the metaverse comes through what we are already habitual of, right? So when I log into my laptop for work, I'll be doing all the transactions like I do in different Web 2 systems, but on Web 3 in a more secure way, in a more frictionless way. And so this change is not even 2041 according to me. According to me, it's 2030. We're less than a decade away from this change coming, right? Where I log in, I talk to you, I get out from my device and I say, okay, I'm moving around. Now I'm in my workplace. I have a 3D avatar in my workplace, which is actually having those meetings, doing some work. I'm doing my coding that gets verified in the Web3 system, gets integrated into a product, pushed to the users. There's commerce there. Instead of me logging out of that system and going to an HSBC bank system, that's integrated in my work system already, right? Like I said, wholesome identity. So even work will have a wholesome identity, right? Totality also needs to have a wholesome identity. It cannot be a different thing for HSBC, a different thing for the work people, a different things to our customers, etc., etc. So this transition for the end user will be much smoother. It's a much more difficult transition for creators and developers.
What do you mean creators and developers? Developers, I understand. What do you mean creators?
So I think the transition, like what will happen is the world of Web3 will introduce a complete new set of interactions, right? Which wasn't possible in Web 2. So like I am saying that for Facebook and me, it's the same starting line. Even for all creators, it's sort of the same starting line, right? So for example, for you will have to take your knowledge of YouTube, according to me, and also redefine it what will happen in the Web3 space. Because now the amount of interactions you can have is unlimited. You're not limited by YouTube's algorithm or Instagram's algorithm or the amount of interactions which they will only allow. Now, like I said, autonomy, you need to define your autonomy, right? So you need to find what your users are already used to, what the habit they have, and what delta habit can you change for them to elevate the experience they have with you, right? So is it super chat or a better variation of super chat? Definitely will happen, right? Is it a completely new interaction which hasn't been built yet? Absolutely, right? Before Twitter built super chat, everybody poo-pooed on that idea that who will give donations. Once Twitter became famous, YouTube actually copied it, right? It was actually Twitter which pioneered it, right? But it was a different interaction. So in Web 2, you needed another company to create that interaction. In Web 3, Ranveer will create that interaction. So you actually have a lot of onus and creative potential in the Web 3 space, which is why I'm saying even creators will need to relearn. For the user, the change will be a lot more, easy, right? Like if we ask the newer generation, like, do you think learning Facebook was difficult? No, because that was the beauty of UI UX, right? The beauty of UI UX is that it was very intuitive, right? And that is where we needed Web 2 to happen before Web 3. So now that we have learned UI UX, all the products that we will make, so like, current crypto products have really shit UI UX, right? Because the crypto native people have maybe not learned that from Web 2 space. And this move of Web 2 people coming to Web 3 is going to bring that change in the crypto and the Web 3 space as well.
Like when a stronger player comes, you have to learn the skills of the stronger player.
Exactly, right? The game is going to get elevated from everybody. There are a lot of new things. Like I said, for all Web 2 people, we have unlearned a lot of things and are learning new things. But because we have learned some things before, we do have some advantages and some disadvantages of those learnings.